About a week ago, someone came to me and asked how to deal with players who are on head glitches. Now, this applies to any FPS game, but the overarching answer is that there aren't many things you can do against someone on a head glitch. However, there are plenty of ways to prevent you from dealing with one. In this video, we will be going over different methods you can use to defeat head glitchers and techniques to avoid them altogether. To start with, let us define what head glitching actually is. The most simple definition I can give is that when a player gets behind cover in a way that only shows their head. Since the camera angle in FPS games is roughly eye or head level, the player ends up having a clear line of sight regardless of where the gun may appear to be. This makes it hard for the enemy the player is shooting at to fight back, since all they can see are a few pixels of his head versus a player on the head glitch who can see the entire enemy. So if you can yourself get into a position where you have a head glitch, go for it. It isn't frowned upon, nor is it a bad thing for you to do. It's just a nuisance the enemy has to deal with. And if it isn't explicitly stated that you are not allowed to use a head glitch in a game, you are allowed to do so. This is more specific for tournaments, of course, and competitive play. You will rarely see these types of rules for casual play in any game. Head glitching is truly a form of advantageous positioning. In order to get to such a specific spot and hold control over it as it puts your team at an advantage over the enemy, it does fall under this category. So to let an enemy gain an advantage over you, you either let them do so, you didn't get there before them, or you just did everything right but you just got unlucky. It happened. The first workaround we will discuss here is repositioning. It is as simple as that. If someone has a nasty angle on you, more specifically a head glitch, to stay consistent with this video, changing your position to a location where you have a better angle on the enemy where the head glitch is no longer effective can change the tide of the battle. This can be done in various ways using Legends tacticals, ultimates, and more. If your team's abilities are on cooldown though, you may be able to get away with leapfrogging cover to cover, or you might have to use one person as bait as the other two try to get away. In all reality, you should all move together and try to soak up the damage equally amongst one another. People get excited when they see multiple people and sometimes do not know who to shoot at, or they may break off of who they are currently shooting at just through excitement and start shooting at someone else. As someone who is avoiding getting shot in this scenario, you want this to happen to you. You kind of hope that it happens to you and your squad. And believe it or not, it is actually a very common mistake players make. If you are someone though who is doing the shooting on the head glitch, you want to stay consistent in trying to knock that one person. That allows you and your squad to be able to push up and eliminate that squad in a simple 3v2 scenario. Another workaround for enemies head glitching is the use of lethal force. There are two ways of actually going about this. Grenades being one, out aiming and just being better is the other. When it comes to grenades, if someone is at an equal level or on a flat surface holding a head glitch, you simply need to place a nade next to them and they'll move from that position quickly, giving you an opportunity to deal massive damage. If they don't move, your grenade placement either sucked or they're going to be really stubborn and take a huge hit of damage, and that's when you push. However, if the enemy is above you holding a nasty head glitch on a downwards angle, or if they are on a sloped surface, then the best way to use grenades is to airburst them. This only works for frag grenades, and it is actually so effective, I ended up making a video specifically on this topic, which I will link on screen and down below if you're interested. If you weren't smart enough to save your nades, or you were incapable of having a single brain cell that would fathom carrying them, then being better is an option. In this case, you would take up a 1v1 against a head glitcher and would have to out damage them. Now, if you have a semi-auto weapon with great recoil control, then this isn't as difficult as it seems. But if you are rocking something full auto, things become a little more difficult even with great recoil control. The moral of the story is, if you aren't feeling ballsy, don't try this at home. The third workaround for going up against someone that is head glitching is playing the waiting game. Do not peek, do not give him the light of day to inflict any damage on you. You are going to stay there and stay put as long as you can until you have to move. The reason for this is because you do not want to have your econ or economy ruined. In Apex Legends, your econ is your heals, your shield cells, bats, medkits, syringes, ammo, etc. You will need them for fights later on down the road, so do not bother wasting them now. Peeking someone on a head glitch is absolute tomfoolery. You are literally asking to die. Now is not the time for that. So stop acting like a masochist and just chill out, take a sip of whatever is in your baby bottle, regather your thoughts as you have this time to think, think and formulate a plan if applicable. After a set amount of time, the shooter is going to become impatient, a common mistake, or they will be engaged by someone else and have to resign from their position. When this happens, this is time for you to make a move on, possibly even push the enemy if the situation calls for it, or just get the fuck out of there. The final workaround I have for dealing with head glitchers is both active and preemptive. Map knowledge is one of those things that just come from playing the game more and more. It allows an experienced player to have a knowledgeable or positional advantage over a player who doesn't know as much information about that map. Why this is important is because with map knowledge, you learn where head glitch locations are. This can be taught in various ways. For example, being verbally told by someone, dying by someone on a head glitch, finding them yourself, or identifying potential areas where there could be a head glitchable spot. For example, anywhere a slope may be is a potential head glitch. High ground as well, rocks, loop bins, and more. Depends on whether or not you could stay there with the specific legend you are playing, since they vary in height, but also such that you are able to effectively duck back down to cover safely and return fire without being hit for the most part, making it a very difficult shot for your opponent to make against you. The biggest issue with holding a head glitch for too long is that you are usually stationary the entire time, since you do not have the freedom to move in these precise locations. Keep your ears open and your eyes wide for any audible or visual cues of an enemy with a 𝕦𝕚𝕚𝕚, because once one is in play, you do not want to be standing still ever, even on a head glitch. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, comment down below with how you deal with players abusing a head glitch, and of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. Because I've been Gamer, I'll see you all next time. Peace.